Okay, so for those that were interested in wanting to learn more about American Sign Language, I had a little video chat with the Leonard family because Gracie had wanted to learn more about learning ASL. So I thought I would probably put together like a little review kind of thing just so those that would like to catch up with us or maybe didn't have a chance to really do a little our little like group video together, you can be able to learn more about it, and I will kind of review with what we have learned from the past class, so to speak. So we kind of just did a little bit of an introduction that American Sign Language is all about doing the concept and the meaning behind whatever it is that we're signing. So it's not like a literal translation, but it's kind of like a summary of just everything that you try to convey in like a short way so that it's easier to understand. All right? So that's kind of like the main focus about what ASL is all about. And just so you know, you may have already been using American Sign Language without really knowing it. For instance, if you saw me looking like really stiffened up and my brows are furrowed and I just look, how do you think I look? I look grumpy, maybe, right? That's grumpy. I probably look like really maybe upset about something. So my body language actually shows you how I'm feeling, okay? So you do the same thing without realizing it. Like when you're happy, you can get like all excited and you smile a lot, your eyebrows are up, you're just, ooh, it's so exciting, So a lot of body language has to do with your emotions, and that actually shows a lot of people who are deaf what you actually are feeling in that moment. They can read you. They can actually look at you and say like, oh, you actually look really upset today. Are you okay? Or you are really happy. What's up? So you also use a lot of expressions. So your face actually is pretty much like the mirror to your emotions in the sense. They can be able to see your expressions. If you were to say like, oh, I'm upset today, you don't smile about it. You just, I'm upset, So it's all about body language or nonverbal communication. I'm also kind of a part Italian, so I like to express a lot with my hands. I talk with my hands, and that's really perfect for those that are wanting to learn about sign language too. Because hands are a way to kind of convey with what you want to communicate, what you want to talk about. So that's an excellent quality to have, especially if you're wanting to learn, or if maybe you're not really keen on talking with your hands. Practice makes progress. Okay, so that's kind of a general introduction to what ASL is all about. So we first learned about the alphabet, the A, B, C's. Okay, so I'm going to do just kind of a generalization about with hands. When you're signing to someone, use your dominant hand. I am right-handed, so I use my right hand a lot. If you're left-handed, use your left hand the most. But you would, most of the time, you would actually kind of use either both hands or a majority of your dominant hand the most. All right? And when you're signing to someone, make sure your palm, especially with letters, ABCs, your palm is towards the person that you're talking to. Because if you have it like this, you're not sure exactly what you're trying to say if you're trying to fingerspell something. So you have your palm out so that the person who is deaf or maybe hard of hearing or maybe is trying to communicate with you in sign language knows exactly what you're talking about. All right, so we do A. So it looks like this if you're showing it to somebody, and it looks like this to you. Okay, so this is your view. This is what you would see, like if you were to show, it to like if you were signing the letter. This is how it would look to your hand, the reverse side, and this is how you would show it with your palm out. Okay, so then this is B. Okay, then we have C. That's kind of to the side, and then we have D. So this index finger is pointed up, and all these other fingers are pointed down. All right, so then we have E. All right, so your fingers are kind of almost like a bear claw, but all crunched together. Then we have F. All right, so your F is like D but reversed. Okay, so it's kind of all fanned out over here. And then we have G. So it's like these two, kind of like when you're pinching something like with chopsticks, like that. Okay. And then we have H. Can't really do the inverse, right? There's H. And then there's I. And then there's J. You kind of take your I and you just kind of make like a little J motion, just kind of up, down, just like a little curve. Okay. And then there's K. This is the tricky one. This is tricky, okay? So it's like a peace sign, all right? But then you take your thumb and you put it in between your index and your middle finger like this, and then you kind of have it pointed up, okay? So that's K. And then there's L. This is L. And then M. Have like the Girl Scouts honor or Scouts honor kind of sign, but then you put your fingers right on top of your thumb, okay? This is M. M. So then N. Okay, see how M is kind of like how you would write an M is how you would write it out? N is the same way, where you take your two fingers and put them over your thumb like that. So it's like an N. Okay? Kind of like how you would write an N out with like one hump versus M with two humps, okay? Okay, so then there's O. Letter O, simple. P. Now, P is the letter K, but pointed down. Okay? K up here, down with P. Okay? So then Q is the letter G here, but then pointed down. All right? So it's G up here, pointed down. All right? And then we have, Q. Sorry, G pointed down for Q. Okay. Then we have R. Okay, it's just these two fingers crossed over, okay? This is the letter R, all right? The letter S is like A, but it's like a fist. We're not punching somebody. We're keeping it up for like, yay, kind of thing, okay? So this is S. And for T, it's just like M and N, but instead of 3 for M, 2 for N, we have 1 for T, okay? T. Index over the thumb, all right? Then we have U. This is the letter U, like a letter whoop, okay? Letter V, split that, V, okay? This is your peace sign, essentially. And then we have W, womp, 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 like that, if you were to write it out. Then we have X. And I think I may have figured out why X is like this, because you would think this is X, even though this is R, because it's crossed over like an X would be, okay? But this is X, and I think I figured out why. You know how pirates sometimes, you have hooks for hands, and they look for the treasure because X marks the spot? So this is X, Y. Okay, so your thumb and your pinky are kind of pointed out, and everything is held down like hang loose, man. So that's Y right here. Okay, and then Z, you just have your finger up, and then you just kind of make like a Z motion. It looks backwards. Like for you, it would be normal. So you would write it out like this. No, hold on. So Z would be this way. Okay, so it would be like this. To you, it would look normal. To you, it would look normal. Like if you were to write out the letter Z, it would look normal. But if you see it over here, it looks backwards. Okay, so that's the alphabet, and you can practice that out. And that you can actually be able to spell your name. Okay, so that's the next thing that we learn. We learn how to actually spell our names out. So if you were to introduce yourself to somebody, you would say, my name is, you would spell out your name using the alphabet. You would say, for me, it would be ALLAYNA. Okay? If you have like a double consonant, or like a double, if you have a double vowel in your name, I'm not sure what name would have that at the top of my head. Normally double letters would have, you can either like tap it twice, or you can do bump bump, where you can kind of like have it like next to each other. Like if you were spelling your name out and you would write like the two letters next to each other, you would just kind of have it like a consecutive kind of thing. So you can see it both ways. So it'd be this is kind of together. So A-L-L, that was the two times together. A-Y-N-A, or you can do A-L-L-A-Y-N-A. So A-L-L-A, and then just kind of go back just a little bit over to where you originally have your hand up. So that's how you would finger spell. That's the sign for it. Finger spell your name. Let's see. Some other, like we did some simple expressions, simple ways to be able to talk. Like if you were to meet somebody, you could say, or it's hi and bye. It's kind of like the aloha of sign language, which is kind of like for us here anyway. So it just kind of depends on the situation. So you could say hi there or bye, or kind, it's pretty general. And so if someone were to say how you're doing, you can say, how are you? Okay. So this is how, and since ASL is very shortened up, it's very shortened up. This is when, sorry. So since ASL is very short when it comes to communicating, instead of like all these little filler words constantly, you would just kind of shorten things up to be able to make your point specific and easier to understand. So you would say, instead of saying, how are you, it would be, how are you? Okay? How are you? And you would point to the person that you're talking to. And then you can reply by saying quite a few things, all right? You can say, I'm good. And you have to like really like emphasize like how good you're feeling. Maybe it's just wonderful. And you can say, oh, I'm good. I'm fine. Or you can say, I'm okay. Or I'm bad. Like today's bad. So those are just a few things that you can actually be able to reply with. So you can say good. You can say fine. Okay. Bad. If it's with someone that maybe you've never met before, you can say, like, your name is what? And you would reply, my name, and you would finger spell your name. So you can say, so kind of going back a little bit. So when you meet somebody, you can say, hello. So your name is, and you can reply with, my name is, finger spell that out using the alphabet. And then you can ask like, how are you? How are you? And you can reply with, I'm good, or I'm fine, or I'm okay, or I'm bad. All right. So and then maybe if it's someone that you've never met before, you can say, it's nice to meet you. All right. Nice, the sign for nice, and to meet you. Okay. So instead of saying meet you, it's nice to meet you. When you're talking to the person, you kind of have it like right in front of you kind of thing. So it's nice to meet you. Okay. So you have the two fingers up like here, and then you meet them together. So nice to meet you. All right. 3 words that are really important. They're actually very easy to remember is please. Please. You say thank you. Thank you. And then you actually would direct your hand to whoever you're thanking. Like, oh, thank you, or thank you, or thank you. So it's always, sometimes it's always directional to where you're going to be talking, who you're going to be talking to. And then if someone were to say thank you to you, you can reply with, oh, you're welcome. Get back a little bit. So you would, it's kind of like you're welcoming someone into your home, okay? So you just kind of like, you're welcome, okay? So right up to your stomach. You say, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You don't have to do a grandiose kind of thing. You can just, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So it's always that, it's kind of like towards your belly. Okay. Okay, so I think that was the last thing that we kind of learned about. So let's see. We actually the kids actually asked me if there was like any different types of words that maybe weren't involved with the subject, to see if there's like anything that may be like a surprise word. One was, what's up? Okay, so you have your fingers, middle fingers here. Middle fingers are used a lot for to touch something. It's also used for like things that are kind of more for like important, more like sensitive kind of signs. So most of it is kind of like for how you would be feeling or sometimes different emotions with stuff. So you use your two middle fingers, you kind of have them pointed down like this, and you drag them up from your stomach all the way to your chest, and you're like, what's up? What's up? Okay? So that's how you, instead of saying hi, or you can say, hey, what's up? Kind of thing. Another one was dragon. And that actually, I didn't know at the time, but thanks to Finn, I now know what it is. Dragon. Like it's breathing fire out of your mouth. So you have your hands cupped like this together, and you can take them by your chin, and you kind of drag it out by wriggling your fingers. Dragon, dragon. Which I actually never knew before, and I actually had to look that up, and that was really, really, really cool. I was like, oh, that actually makes sense. The last one was what Charity had asked. Well, she actually didn't ask. She's like, I can't think of one. I was like, well, let me show you. Think. Like you're thinking about something, and your brows are kind of furrowed. Like, especially even now, sometimes if you're really concentrating hard and you're not sure, you're like, I can't think of it. It's like, oh, I've been thinking about whatever. So that is think. All right. So all together, for 30 minutes of learning, there was roughly about 40-ish signs that you learned, which is awesome. So I hope you guys had actually learned a little bit too. Not sure when the next class will be. We actually had it on Thursday at about 6:30 roughly. So if you would like to participate with us in like a video chat, please let me know, and we can be able to arrange that up. I can either try to do maybe I can do like a Facebook group chat kind of thing with Messenger, or I can do like a Google Meet. We can at least try to incorporate it together. I found out Zoom is a little bit on the expensive side if you go past 40 minutes. And that's not something I really have the finances for right now. Or I can also do review videos with this as well. So just let me know, and I would be more than happy to want to share my knowledge with you, and be able to look forward to the next time that we get to meet together. So until then, bye. And I'm just really appreciating you wanting to learn, and I've been really appreciating wanting to be able to share what I know with you all. So love you. Bye.